Este vídeo forma parte de la cobertura del Festival Internacional de Cine de San Sebastián 2024. Puedes ver todo el contenido relacionado con el festival en la lista de reproducción del mismo nombre o Donostia Zinemaldia 2024.
Hola, ¿qué hay? Enhorabuena por la película, la verdad es que es magnífica. Quería preguntar a John sobre el montaje, porque esta película podría ser una que ya hemos visto antes, sin embargo, el desorden cronológico creo que la hace bastante especial. Es como un puzzle que hace que los personajes, los vayamos conociendo, no vayamos viendo su relación en desorden. Y también a Andrew, enhorabuena por la interpretación. Quería preguntarte cómo ha sido la construcción de los personajes, tanto por tu parte como por la parte de Florence y ambos juntos. Muchas gracias.
Well, it's ostensibly quite a simple story, which is, a guy meets a woman and they fall in love and they try and make a life and have a child, and then it comes to an end. And no spoilers, but it felt to me that the form which Nick had in his script, which was of 3 time frames, in lots of ways was the meaning that and it also made it essentially cinematic for me, which I'll come on to in a second. It allowed you to show multiple facets of that relationship, almost like a cubist painting or like a diamond, which has lots of facets cut in it, rather than it being linear and having to have the beginning, the middle, and end of every part of the relationship. You were able to drop into different parts of that relationship at its very early stages, at later stages, and to see emotional, physical, intimacies contrasting each other, and to see the way in which they handle their own sadnesses, their own fears, so that by the end, the wish was that you would have a complete portrait of a complicated adult relationship, and that it would never the film would never bottom out into being, will they, won't they get together, or how long will she survive, which is sometimes what happens with romantic films or with illness films. They can be quite linear. The director that I thought of a lot when making this, and it's sort of ironic because he never made a film anything like this, he made much darker films, was Nicholas Roeg, right? And he had a great line about that he said, in the editing room, all time is available all the time. And I loved the idea that a film generates its own sort of relative time universe, and that if we could do that with this and capture it, that would be worthwhile. The script was in one shape, and then of course you get into the editing room and we broke it apart into thousands of pieces and had to almost begin again with the disordering and reordering of it. The performances arrived magnificently as we were shooting, so I went into the editing room with 2 extraordinary performances. I could see that even in rehearsals, that what was beginning to bubble up was very special. And then in the shooting, about 3 days in, there was even a drop in one of the scenes where it was like, wow, this is exceptional. And the truth of those 2 performances became our compass, which is how to piece the film together. And it took on its own sort of emotional logic, as it were. And
in terms of creating the relationship with Florence and playing the character, the writing was very good. The script was incredibly good. In the sense that, Nick is a phenomenal playwright, and he's also a phenomenal screenwriter. And I think as far as screenwriting goes, there needs to be room in the writing for the director to create his own, with his or her own imagination, the visual language of the film, and for the actors to create with their own souls and imagination the emotional, lived in flesh and blood language of these characters. And what Nick did supremely was it's like Shakespeare almost, not to be too hyperbolic, but he created such a strong structure and skeleton of emotional logic and uniqueness within each character and their dynamic, while leaving room for Florence and myself to bring our own creativity, our own imagination, our own spirit and soul and choices to the work. There was no ceiling to it. We could fly from the very strong foundation that he created. And in terms of jumping all over time as well, it felt very, very clear whenever we were acting together where we were, because of the writing and because of Florence and us being able to tune into each other and creating that dynamic was a great acting joy of my life, and doing it with John, the three of us really creating an environment of safety and intimacy together, and humor and joy, and an ability to drop to those depths of our own humanity and bring all of our own personal material to this piece. Yeah, it's a testament to John for creating that environment. It's a testament to Florence for being such a fierce, vulnerable, strong, like mysterious, one of those mysterious actors. And I speak for her in saying that she really wishes she could be here. Again, mostly because she loves to eat. Secondarily, she loves this film. No, she's very, very proud of this film, and she's dying to be here, but she's filming in New Zealand right now. So she sends her love, and she loves this city, and she loves this festival, and yeah.
Este vídeo forma parte de la cobertura del Festival Internacional de Cine de San Sebastián 2024. Puedes ver todo el contenido relacionado con el festival en la lista de reproducción del mismo nombre o Donostia Zinemaldia 2024.